Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. My sincere apologies for this video being roughly 3.5 months after it was actually supposed to be uploaded. The reason being, I actually uploaded it at around that time, just happened to be with some music behind it that actually got it copyright banned, and I didn't even realise until now. So the footage is here, thankfully not deleted, so I can actually make this video again, this time with commentary just in case YouTube flags it again. Basically, this is a 3-lap elimination series. Every 3 laps is the end of a race. The person in last is eliminated. That occasion it was hellbent at Spain in the wet, and now we've moved on to another wet race here, this time in USA, and there's a massive calamity, you've got to say. I've never experienced such a jam when you've had a collision. Either way, we managed to get around it, still towards the back, so we have to avoid that P14 in this race, and as well as avoiding any penalties that could put us back there. Thankfully, we had the pace to allow our position to be furthered up the field, and I would escape the dreaded last place on this particular occasion. Nemo would be my teammate for this event in the Renaults. Chucky was the last person to cross the line in that race, and he was eliminated. Now, it's not a traditional calendar. Australia could be round 1, round 3, whatever. It was actually random. In this case, it was round 3. As you can see, we're down to 13 people. A couple of cars going past. It's not really a big concern though, especially for OP. You ran out of fuel there. Not concerned about being first, second, third, or whatever. Just about not being last, like Mozza was there, and he would be eliminated. Moving on to Bahrain, and we started in P9, heading towards turn 1, hoping to not be caught out, even though we're on the outside. Bit of a squeeze going on in front and indeed next to us. Couldn't go full throttle through there like we would usually do. Went on a bit of an attack through the next few corners, but there was basically nowhere to go. Some drivers would make some mistakes, and the worst being Bozza, who was eliminated on that occasion. Silverstone saw us starting on the inside, a bit boxed in there. A couple of Force Indias to contend with. That's obviously my car in TNR Season 2, which was occurring at this time. This is actually a Christmas event that occurred right in the middle of Season 2 in TNR. Obviously that season's now over, and that went quite well for us towards the end. Get myself a podium, I think, in this race, to go past Nemo for third, and it would be Hold Up Man, who despite winning a couple of the 3-lappers, actually would be eliminated on that occasion. Now Stingray and I should have been at the back due to the reverse grid format that would have started, I think, 2 or 3 races earlier, so we went to the back of our own volition and had to work through an absolute mess in the wet once again, this time at Malaysia, and we actually got around a couple of cars at turn 1 and 2 complex, despite the fact that we had to let off on the main straight beforehand. Dynamite and Rumble were the cars behind, and Rumble got into me as I attempted to defend from him. Towards the end of the race, there was a massive collision involving many cars, and Rumble, who you can see on the back straight, was eliminated. On to Canada now, and a poor start for OP boxed us in. Couldn't really go anywhere, so I just maintained my line around the outside, which became the inside of a turn 2. Bit of contact there, and I thought I might be able to get past into the chicane, and I was indeed correct. Up to third of 9 now, so the field's starting to whittle down, and the next Ferrari was also there for the taking into the chicane at the end of the first lap. BK led the race, and I followed him. Unfortunately, really screwed up heavily on the last lap, and I don't know what he was doing, waiting for people. I guess he didn't want to cross the line first, because it's obviously a disadvantage to be starting last, and I got swiped a bit there. Luckily, Stingray and Nemo were already sort of towards the back. I think Nemo got disqualified, so that was sort of a foregone conclusion in that one. So starting second now behind Stingray, who just escaped elimination by the skin of his teeth in Canada. And, well, Suzuka, not too much of an issue for us. We got away. In fact, Dynamite was on my inside, so I just let him go. No sense in us putting ourselves at risk by going through there side by side, and BK will be gone. Down to 7, and this is where I thought I might be at risk. The wet at Austria, obviously wheel favoured, doubly so in these conditions, and not one of my strongest tracks anyway. However, what a start we've made there, up to P2, and if we can just hold on to it, which we have, sort of, despite that epically sideways moment there. We have survived, although just until we passed the line, as Dynamite is eliminated on that occasion. Now it was Belgium, and my confidence very low for this track. Pouon, especially a corner I haven't been having too much success through, in fact launching me or going wide. If this event had occurred after the Belgian Grand Prix though, I think I would have been fine because I sorted that issue out. Unfortunately I hadn't done any practice at this track. And I also definitely think people were not adhering to the rule of stock setups, because down Campbell Straight, I was being killed, and that was the moment that basically put me out of the competition. An easy mistake to make at Pouon. I did actually catch back up, but it wasn't to be. As you can see up here, I really should have a good run on these guys, given that I have the slipstream and some DRS, but as we clearly have momentum, we just fall back. And it's not only on the car that has slipstream, so that was the end of my 3-lap Eliminator Series. OP tried to let me through, but even if he'd tried to do that and I'd gone past, I would have probably said, you continue, because that's not really fair. It's not in the spirit of the competition, and I'll take the elimination. It's very sad. Actually, at that moment in the original video, it was very, very sad music, very emotive, but unfortunately YouTube has other ideas. Anyhow, I continued to watch, indeed host, as there was a bit of an argument after this particular race in which, certainly from this perspective, Stingray was at fault for that collision and he would be eliminated as a result. Bit more contact going on now in Baku, and the elimination would occur because OP, unfortunately, despite some good racing in front of him, was at the back, and as he tried to push, he would make an error, and it would be the end of the Adelaide Dwellers event. And then it was down to the final three, and unfortunately we didn't get the greatest battle. HSV just unable to escape this last position, and he would be eliminated and have to accept the final place on the podium. And then the final, a bit of wet, great track for battling Hungary, and what a move that was until there was some contact. Kart Dude versus Force One. Who are your bets on, ladies and gentlemen? At the moment they can't stay out of each other and the walls. In the end though, Mercedes would be let through, yes, as Kart Dude being gentlemanly there for the contact that was made, and indeed Force One would be victorious on this night. So congratulations to him. He obviously deserved it. There's obviously a bit of luck involved, but also a lot of skill. So Force One victorious. I'll show you once again what happened to me. Again, this was accompanied by some very sad music in the original video. Anyway guys, I've been Jacko. I hope you enjoyed that bit of a different video. And sorry it took 3.5 months to upload.